First was number 4 from Mrs. P. Davidson, Netherton Farm, Keith. And in class 104, the reserve, Mrs. Wendy Sim, Bankery. Class 105, the champion, number 21 from, it says in the programme, C&J Cousins, but I'm told it's Mrs. Dawn Daniel that owns it. In class 106, first 28 from Dr. V. Morrison, New Bigging House in Verudi. Class 107, first with 35, again Dr. V. Morrison. And in class 108, first with 37, Mrs. E. Craigie, New Mill Farm, Auchterless. Now then, on to the Hunters and Haxon Saddle. The champion here was number 116 from Mrs. S. K. Fish, 4 Montbodo, Auchenblay. The reserve belonged to Mrs. A. Hodgson, South Old Pot, New Deer. Class winners here then amongst the Hunters and Haxon Saddle. Class 114, first 116, Mrs. S. K. Fish. Class 115, first with 159, J. Simpson, Lonehead Steading, Rathan Bucky. Class 1, 2, 3, this is on to the Welsh Cobs now. I'll come back on to the other ones when I'm looking for class 119, right. There's class 109. I'll give you them first before I go on to the next ones. Class 109, this is Hunters and Haxon Hand. In class 109, first with number 43, Mr. and Mrs. Mill, Old What Mains at New Deer. Class 110, first with 52, Miss Diane Hewlett, Drumlochie, Drumsmittle, North Keswick and Rossshire. Class 111, first number 66 from Mrs. E. Mary Downey, Kingsford Farm. This was a reserve amongst the Hunters and 3, Miss Lizzie Franks, Keb Holes, Alva at Banff. And in class 113, first and the champion amongst these was number 103 from David Kenwright, Greystone Farm, Arthur. Now we'll go on to the Welsh Cobs, New Forest, Fell, Connemara. The champion here was, if I can just flick through to it, yes, number 236. Number 236 from Nirvana Stud, a 40s farmhouse at Newton Hill. The reserve in this class was number 223, again Nirvana Stud. Class winners in class 123, first with 223 Nirvana Stud. In class 124, first 226 Retnick Stud, Ruffy May. In class 125, first with 228 Retnick Stud. In class 236, the champion Nirvana Stud. Class 127, first with 246 Retnick Stud. In class 128, first with number 250, and this was the best pony bred by exhibitor, Retnick Stud. Class 129, with first with 252, again Retnick Stud. So it's quite obvious they've done very well amongst the Welsh Cobs there. That's 5 or 6 first prizes there for Retnick Stud. Now then, that was class 129. The next that I have here is the Arabs, Anglo-Arabs and part-bred Arabs. The champion here today amongst this breed was 369, belonging to A and C Martin, Glen Common, Inchmarlow at Bankery. The reserve champion was 416 from Miss V. Milius, Gardens Cottage, St. Fort Estate, Newport on Tay. On to the class winners then. In class 141, we had first number 356, Mr. and Mrs. K. Willocks, Dyke Nook Stud at Netherlie. Class 142, first with 360, Mrs. M. Sivrite, Blackford Stud, Rothinorman. Class 143. First with 369 and the champion in this breed, A and C Martin, Inch Marlow. In class 145, first with 392, Mrs. C.E. Smith, Cairns House 5E. And in class 146, first with 402, Mrs. L. Tate, Bogan Lockey Croft at Port Lethen. And class 147, first 416, Miss V. Milius from Newport on Tay. Now, right, if I can go back, there's a class here that they have already gone round. Oh yes, this was the ride and drive. I'll give you the winners there. In the ride and drive in hand section, the champion was number 333 from Mrs. Alison Campbell, Cowan Bray, over Bray at Fishery. The reserve was 351 from Mrs. H. Oswald, Woodhead, Inch Marlow, Bankery. Right then, on to the in-hand riding ponies. This is starting at class 148. The champion here was number 455 from Mr. and Mrs. W. McEwen, 3 Jubilee Cottages, Kirkton of Skene, West Hill. Now if I can just go through the class winners again. In class 148, first was 435 from Mrs. M. Sivrite, Blackford Stud, Rothinorman. Class 149, first 439, Mrs. A.S. Rosenblum, The Shieling, Wester S&D Blair Gowrie. Class 150, first with 443, Mrs. E. Whitney, Upper Dara Turriff. Class 151, this was the champion, number 455 from Mr. and Mrs. W. McEwen, Kirkton of Skene. Class 152, number 465 and the reserve champion from Stables and Stevenson, Runners View, Seafield Walk, Heath. And in class 153, first was 472 from Mr. and Mrs. McEwen, 3 Jubilee Cottages, Kirkton of Skene. Now then, we can move on to the Highland ponies. The Highland ponies in hand and in saddle. The results are just through to me, so if I can flick through quickly. Yes, I've got the champion here then, was number 526. This is the Highland ponies. 526, the champion from Mr. and Mrs. C. McQuatty, Strathmore, Kingsmuir at Porta. Right, back onto the class winners again then. Class 158, first 494, G and A Towns, 9 Gordon Road, Turriff. Class 159, first with number 500, Mr. and Mrs. C. McQuatty. Class 160, first 510, Mrs. A. Stewart, Addy House, Battle Hill at Huntley. Class 161, first 526, and the champion, Mr. and Mrs. C. McQuatty. Class 162, first 544 from Mrs. R. Porter, 48 Martin Drive, Stonehaven. Class 163, first 554, Mr. and Mrs. K. Stewart, Stables Bray, Durris Home Farm at Durris. Class 164, first with 559, Mr. and Mrs. C. McQuatty. Class 165, first with 561, Mr. and Mrs. M.R. Adams, East 50 Stud 5E. And in class 166, First with 574, Mrs. A. Gilmore, RN, Hillside Road, Kingussie.